Nowadays, everyone wants to be a streamer. The likes of Kaisenat, iShowSpeed and Aiden Ross have showed the world what living on Easy Street really looks like. Just sitting in front of a camera, being yourself, can attract millions of dollars and millions of fans if you have the right personality. Streaming has taken iShowSpeed all over the world like a modern day Forrest Gump. It's made Kaisenat more relevant than every rap star in the game, with most of them begging to be a part of his streams to save their album sales. And Aiden Ross even managed to get the President of the United States on his stream in an unprecedented collab that broke the internet. But as the world of streaming expands, more and more shady characters have entered this scene to try and shock their fans into subscribing. People like Johnny Somali have toured the world attempting to offend other cultures, all for the entertainment of his stream, resulting in numerous beatings and legal cases. Or declining YouTubers like Vitali have attempted to bring their shock humor into the world of streaming, swiftly landing him into a jail cell in the Philippines. But in 2025, the streaming world has broken a new boundary as the world is introduced to the first drill streamer who has been accused of murder, beaten the charges, and vows to kill again. Top5 is a Canadian drill rapper hailing from the rough streets of Toronto, and when his brother Foolish was killed by a rival gang and mocked mercilessly online, he vowed revenge, promising to spin the block until he had killed the people responsible. And in 2021, it seemed like he finally got what he wanted, as a young man named Hashim Omar Hashi was gunned down just as he was about to enter the parking garage of his home located in the infamous projects on the corner of Jane Street and Falstaff Avenue, home of the so-called Falstaff Crips. But Top5 wouldn't face justice. In fact, he would go on the run, sneaking out of Canada and into America, where he hid in Los Angeles, hanging out with some of the world's most famous rappers.
GG, Toronto, stand the up. Right on the set, nigga, you know what it is. What time is it? Hold on, what time is it? It's like 6:20. Still trapping out this bitch, nigga. Yeah, in Cali, my boy. What's up, Gigi? What's up, baby?
Rico, what are we smoking on?
And even taking to Instagram Live to taunt the mayor of Toronto for not being able to catch him.
Yo, you guys want to link up? Call John Tory and tell him I want to have a f***ing sit down for f***ing 30 minutes. I want to spit my facts and he spits his facts. I run Toronto.
But that was long before sites like Kick enabled dangerous people like this to broadcast uncensored to the world at large. But Top5's social media and rap career was brought to a screeching halt after he was found in America, arrested, and brought back to Canada to face justice. But in one of the craziest turns of events in rap history, after awaiting trial and filming music videos from behind bars, Top5 would suddenly be released. Rumors would spread that he had been gifted a bulletproof legal defense by superstar rapper Drake, who'd actually been a longtime fan. Apparently, for his own amusement, Drake used his millions of dollars to help Top5 beat the Canadian legal system, successfully helping him beat murder charges and unleashing this unhinged madman back on the streets. This has led to some of the most shocking and dangerous antics social media and streaming has ever seen, with Top5 going as far as promising to kill Kendrick Lamar for Drake, having international freak-offs with some of the world's biggest rappers, allegedly finessing crypto investors for millions of their dollars amid some rumors that one of his scam victims didn't make it out alive. And off the back of all of this, Top5 has allegedly landed multi-million dollar deals with streaming and gambling companies and just landed the collab of a lifetime streaming with Kanye West in the midst of his most recent mental breakdown. So today, we're going to break down the dark truth behind Top5, the most dangerous streamer on planet Earth.
Oh, man, y'all.
Because I need daddy, you and Kendrick.
He's also on the run, wanted for murder.
We're equipped. We're like the army.
You beat that murder. Oh, my God.
I was on the run for first degree murder in LA. Yeah, you're scared of Kendrick? Tell him come to Toronto. Swiss cheese. I want to sound like myself. You're never going to make it out if you don't sound like yourself.
Get my mom out the hood. I get my family out the hood.
Tomorrow, the violence erupted late Sunday evening in the parking lot of a condo building in the Northeast.
There's no doubt that this is a targeted attack.
Police service confirming one adult male is dead while multiple others have been taken to hospital.
Nid Abdullahi's mother, relatives, and friends are overcome with grief, where the teen was fatally shot multiple times early this morning.
We here with Top5, one of Toronto's finest.
Tell the world how Gigi got packed.
Told him how your brother got packed.
So you the streets. You're the streets.
Yeah, I'm Drake Shooter.
2 Toronto men are facing charges after a man was shot and killed in a parking garage late last month.
Wanted for the first-degree murder of 23-year-old Hashim Omar Hashi.
You guys want to know where I am?
Only God knows.
The rapper behind bars on first-degree murder charges managed to film a music video from inside his own jail cell.
The murder case against Hassan Ali, better known by his stage name Top5,
ended today.
Free flipper, free 100, free century.
And shout out to my boy Drake, man. Kendrick Lamar can't come to Toronto. I'm here. Yo!
Drake need to get away from Top 5. That dude with his mouth and the things he say does not support your career.
Academy Records, I told you I was launching, man. Listen, I dropped a $25 million bag. I had to do it, man.
Top 5 was one of 2 men arrested in connection with a firearm investigation.
I came for a coat, a couple racks for the jeans. Come on, this is talk. When you talk about money, you gotta talk different with the man.
First shooter, J. Cole was one of Drake's shooters. He's supposed to be
I'm
rap shooter. Okay, I'm talking about rap shooter.
I'm here shooter. I'm here shooters too.
If you want to watch my videos uncut and extended, go to patreon.com/traplawross, where you can get those for just $2. Also, you can now watch my new drops on Spotify, so go search me there. Here's the video. Top 5, born Hassan Ali in 1998 to Somali immigrant parents, grew up in Toronto's Lawrence Heights, a neighborhood that locals call the jungle. Isolated and neglected, this maze of crumbling multi-story townhouses and low-rise complexes that are part of Toronto's public housing stood in stark contrast to the middle-class suburbia that surrounded it. Known for poverty, drug deals, and gunfire, Jungle is home to a large community of immigrant families from the Caribbean, South America, Somalia, and other African countries. Immigrants who were all clinging to their own version of the Canadian dream, and it was here, on the basketball courts, that Hassan earned his nickname Top 5, a boast that everything he did on the court was Top 5. As a student at Vaughan Road Academy, the same high school that Drake attended, a young Top 5 would get into music from early on, but he wouldn't take it seriously until one fateful day. When Top 5 was 15 years old, he would attend Drake's first annual OVO Bounce tournament. Drake was in attendance, and at the time, the Detroit Pistons star Brandon Jennings' team took the win, and when Jennings ripped off his jersey to celebrate, Top 5 mimicked him mid-photo op, sending the crowd into a frenzy and catching Drake's attention. That spontaneous moment sparked a friendship and pivoted Top 5's path towards music. In 2014, when Top 5 was just 16 years old, he would drop the song Shirt Off Shorty, doubling down and basing his personality on the gimmick of having his shirt off. On any block, I'll have you know. This Chicago drill-inspired track racked up 5,000 views in just a few weeks, but then, months later in December, Drake would make an Instagram post of him watching Top 5's video, together with the caption, "Back in the 6, shout out to Top 5, which would catapult the track into local success in Toronto. With a viral song in his pocket and the co-sign from the biggest rapper in the world, the 16-year-old Top 5 would turn his 15 minutes of fame into a burgeoning music career. He dropped out of school in 2015, doubling down with the song Hall of Fame alongside Toronto underground rap icon Robin Banks, who belonged to the Was Gang from the north side of Jane and Finch, part of the infamous Driftwood Crips, which are also known for rappers like Presser, his brother Boondog, and the late Houdini. Then came Shirt Off on Any Block, with a music video filmed in the heart of the jungle.
You guys have the same sound. Like, I don't want to sound like The Weeknd, I don't want to sound like Drake. I want to sound like myself. You're never gonna make it out if you don't sound like yourself.
I grew up in Toronto, but I don't like this in the winter. I like the summer when my shirt comes off.
A track that even the Toronto police were enjoying. Meanwhile, Drake would keep the cosigns coming, shouting out Top 5 in the track Grammys from his 2016 album Views. But unfortunately, just as Top 5 plotted his family's escape from the jungle,
Started rapping, I didn't know it was gonna blow up. A couple more songs, I'll have a house in Brattle Path. That's my goal, have a house in Brattle Path, get my mom out the hood, and get my family out the hood.
The streets would strike back. Given the nickname of Top 5's neighborhood, the jungle, it's probably no surprise then that gangs have had a strong hold of the area for a long time. For decades, this neighborhood has been home to the so-called Jungle City Bloods gang, and more recently, particularly a set under them called the GGGs, or Go Get 'em gang. Originally called the First Comes Family, online rumors tie the set's formation to a March 2008 tragedy, an unsolved murder of an 18-year-old Ahmed Abdikarim, son of a Somali soccer star and alleged brother of a GGG member named Jason. Ahmed's killing was even caught on camera, but this murder was never prosecuted, and the lack of evidence became a flashpoint for retaliatory violence. While no convictions followed, the incident brought together the GGGs, with notorious members in their ranks like Flipper, aka Saeed the Postman Mohiuddin 100, Moneyboy, Century, aka Samatar Mohiuddin, Ahmed's brother Jason GGG, aka Ibrahim Abdikarim, Styles, aka Saeed Osman, a GGG affiliate who's currently on the Canada's most wanted list, and among them, a young top 5. The jungle was part of a broader war dividing Toronto's boroughs. On one side, Jane, Driftwood, and Lawrence Heights, and on the other side, territories like Regent Park, Falstaff, and Rexdale. Part of this conflict was GGG's feud with the Falstaff Crips, based in the northwest Toronto's Jane-Falstaff corridor, their turf consisting particularly of 3 large high-rises, numbers 20, 30, and 40, which is why the gang is also sometimes called 234. The Falstaff Crips are known for guys like the rappers 9 and LO, who have both received some notable fame in the Toronto drill scene. While top 5 in the GGGs have also clashed with several other rival sets like Bloods from the Connections or South Jane, represented by artists like NHSJJ and Doovie, who have both been some of the most popular drill artists in the Toronto scene. On the other hand, there's also been gang sets who GGG have been close with, most notably being the previously mentioned Was Gang, with top 5 himself being very close to their rappers YG, Presser, and Presser's big brother Boondog, all of whom were recently shining prominently in Brandon Buckingham's vlog about the gang war in Toronto. Definitely go and check that out.
Toronto, this is Jaden Finch, Was Gang.
Alexandra Park, PO, MG Furrow.
Content creators get shot in their head out here.
Come around here, you might not leave.
Jane and Finch. What began as a simmering tension in the late 2000s between these different Toronto factions would escalate by 2018 into Toronto's bloodiest year on record, and at the center of many of these conflicts will be none other than the GGGs. For example, in June 2016, 2 gunmen would open fire on 20-year-old Nathan Lee in Jamestown near Finch Avenue and Martin Grove Road in broad daylight. Security cameras would capture the chilling attack, which left Lee hospitalized, but fortunately alive.
A sunny morning and 20-year-old Nathan Lee is heading out for a bike ride, but steps from his home, Lee is gunned down at point-blank range. The video released by police today shows the 2 suspects approach. Both are armed with handguns. It's hard to believe anyone could survive such close-range shots, but Lee's mother says her son is expected to recover.
Police quickly linked the shooting to an ongoing feud between the Young Buck Killers, a Driftwood Crip subset, and the Rexdale Jamestown Crips. This was a rivalry already stained by tragedy, as just weeks earlier, a pregnant woman was killed in a drive-by, her baby delivered by an emergency C-section, only to die a month later, something that the YouTuber Six Tails covered in great detail on his channel. Lee's shooting occurred allegedly just days after the rapper Presser was assaulted in jail, and the investigators believed that this was payback. But the plot thickened when Lee's mother identified one shooter as Shamori YG White, a Young Buck Killers member and Top 5's close friend. YG would actually flee to the US, setting the example for others to do the same in the future, while his alleged accomplice, later revealed as Jason from GGG, stayed in the shadows. But then, in March 2017, Jason was arrested and charged with attempted murder and discharging a firearm. YG, who had been on the run in the US, spending a lot of time in Los Angeles, would ultimately be caught in Columbus, Ohio, and brought back to Canada, formally charged with attempted murder. However, due to a combination of good lawyers and the witnesses refusing to testify, both men would face no charges. YG would later taunt the failed prosecution with his track Blue Tea, which flaunted the attire matching the shooter's description in the surveillance video, with him rapping that he's on his block, shooting people in his blue tea. But in April 2024, Jason's luck ran out, as he was gunned down in Toronto's Fashion District in a shooting that would leave 2 others injured. Though police hesitated to call it targeted, graffiti at the scene spelling out GGGK or Go Get 'em Gang Killers sparked speculation of a hit. But the GGG's reign of terror wasn't just limited to the greater Toronto area, and in another wild case, in August 2018, 27-year-old Abdi Sluggy Piercy, a mid-level drug dealer all the way in Edmonton, Alberta, was gunned down after he pulled into a parking lot, with the sounds of this shooting being chillingly captured on a nearby dash cam. Police called the shooting targeted, revealing that the victim was well known to law enforcement.
When police arrived Sunday night, the focus was on a BMW where the man was gunned down. The building was roped off.
And then we heard more gunshots.
With area residents wondering what happened.
Sluggy had allegedly been a drug dealer who clashed with a criminal organization expanding throughout several provinces, a nod to GGG's rumored reach across Canada. Though GGG as a gang wasn't officially tied to this murder, rumors swirled and the crew leaned into them, dissing Sluggy every chance they got, like in the 2021 song Movie, where Top 5 raps that when he's in Edmonton, he's smoking on Sluggy. A month after the murder of Sluggy in September 2018, 4 suspects would be charged, including Century from the GGGs. Police were able to build their case with extensive video surveillance that showed that the 2 shooters arrived in the parking lot and waited for Sluggy to arrive, and as soon as he did, the shooters got out of their car, got close, and opened fire, with one of the shooters not just emptying his clip, but returning to the getaway vehicle, and then returning to Sluggy's lifeless body and continuing firing, before finally hopping in the car and getting away. Police confirmed Century as one of the 2 shooters, but despite what the judge called insurmountable evidence, Century too would miraculously beat his case. The GGGs were a terror in the streets and Teflon in the courtrooms, and this untouchable gang would still stay active during the 2020s, escalating their already infamous reign of terror. In March 2022, chaos would erupt at a north central Edmonton lounge when gunmen unleashed gunfire into a crowd, described as one of the city's worst mass shootings. The attack left 28-year-old Imbert Georgia, a young father and husband, deceased and 6 others injured. Authorities would quickly recover a vehicle linked to the shooting, and Edmonton police moved quickly, arresting 2 suspects, GGG members 100 and Bosch, after a police helicopter tracked their fleeing car, capturing their attempt to discard firearms out the window, which were later retrieved by police dogs. Investigators confirmed that 60 to 70 shots were fired into the crowd, calling it miraculous that more people weren't killed. A third suspect, another GGG affiliate, Saeed Styles Osman, would evade capture, later landing on Canada's 25 most wanted list with a $50,000 bounty out for him. As the investigation deepened, police identified 2 additional suspects, one of those being none other than Century from GGG, who would get arrested on December 3rd, 2023 in a separate drug trafficking and firearms investigation with more than $185,000 worth of drugs and firearms seized. This included $50,000 worth of cocaine and 2.5 kilograms of fentanyl worth $90,000. Extradited to Edmonton, he faced the same charges as 100 first-degree murder and 7 counts of aggravated assault. Then, in May 2024, Bosch would strike a plea deal, confessing that he drove the shooters, that all 4 men had firearms, and that they were after someone they knew. And he would get 8 years for manslaughter, a fraction of the potential life sentences that his gang members still face. These are just a few of the cases tied to the Go Get 'em gang's murderous reign, but for Top 5 himself, the gang war in Toronto would from early on become much more personal, when he would end up losing his own brother to the streets. On the 30th of July 2017, Top 5's brother, 21-year-old Saeed Foolish Ali, would leave his apartment in the jungle to go and grab some snacks. Around midnight, he would split from his friends, and only moments later, as he was walking in front of a local drug mart, a car would pull up next to him and someone inside would open fire, shooting Foolish in his thigh and severing an artery. Sometime later, police would find him bleeding out on the asphalt, and sadly, he would later pass away at the hospital. It's not clear whether or not Foolish was a full-fledged gang member, but his family association to Top 5's GGG crew had allegedly made him a target in the streets, and following his death, GGG was ready to go after anyone who dissed Foolish, and they would waste no time in retaliating. Less than 48 hours after Foolish's murder, on August 1st, a 23-year-old Adrian Scars Milligan, an alleged member of a rival crew called Shots Up Mafia, aka SUM, would become Toronto's 30th homicide of 2017. Witnesses near Bathurst and St. Clair saw Scars arguing with 2 men before gunfire suddenly erupted, hitting Scars in the chest in a gas station parking lot. Witnesses would then see 2 suspects running northbound on Raglan Avenue while holding a handgun, one of these suspects being around 5'6" in height, this interestingly matching Top 5's relatively short frame. Reddit sleuths would later point out that Top 5 had allegedly posted RIP Foolish on the very same day that Scars died, while also mentioning a statement that Top 5 allegedly made saying that he stepped for his brother. GGG members like Flipper have also claimed Scars as a GGG body, with lyrics hinting at Scars being killed as direct get back for Foolish. When SUM members would pay tribute to Scars online, a GGG member would do some trolling by commenting with the prayer hand emojis, which would be met by a harsh response back as the SUM member would tell him to go and dig his friend up in response. Online sleuths have generally theorized that Scars was killed over mistaken blame for Foolish's murder, with the GGGs first thinking that SUM had something to do with it, but unfortunately they would eventually realize their mistake and decide to slide again. As is often the case in modern day gang wars, it would allegedly be a social media post that would light the fuse, as a masked figure could be seen in a video stomping a shopper's drug mart bag, this being seen as a direct diss towards Foolish, who had been killed outside that same store. Allegedly, despite the mask, this person's identity wouldn't stay hidden, as rumor leaked to GGGs that the culprit was a 16-year-old named Hanad Clutch Ali, an alleged member of the Falstaff Crips, who lived in one of the 3 high-rise buildings that the gang claimed. Then, in August 2019, Clutch's life would end where he lived, as he would be gunned down in the stairwell of 30 Falstaff Avenue, after which 3 suspects fled in a dark sedan, leaving him bleeding out.
Hanid Abdullahi's mother, relatives, and friends are overcome with grief as the body of the 16-year-old is carried out of the Toronto Community Housing Building where Hanid lived his entire life and where the teen was fatally shot multiple times early this morning.
I don't get it! He was a kid! 16 years old!
According to authorities, only hours later, Top 5 posted on Instagram saying, Karma is the most patient gangster ever. By November, Top 5 would double down on his drill rap persona, dropping the song Drill Some More with GGG member Flipper. This track being a clear message referencing these back-to-back murders, with 5 rapping that even if they catch one body, they're still planning on catching more. A chilling reminder of what was to come. However, just months after the release of Drill Some More, in March 2020, Flipper would be arrested for the 2019 broad daylight murder of 22-year-old Jerome Bell, also known in the streets of Toronto as the rapper Murder. Then, in a shock turn of events, while in custody, Flipper was tied to a second murder, the November 2019 execution of Tony Scratch, a reputed high-level mobster. The trial revealed that Flipper and another rapper called YS hunted down and killed Tony Scratch so that they could collect a $60,000 bounty, which they would allegedly later wave around in cell phone videos. The two would be caught thanks to critical evidence presented by 2 undercover police officers who just so happened to be surveilling Tony Scratch in an unrelated investigation, and Flipper would end up getting 2 life sentences for both murders. But even though GGG would end up losing their most ruthless soldier, this didn't slow down Top 5, as he would keep escalating petty feuds, putting bounties on rivals' jewelry, and pulling stunts like flushing a stolen chain down the toilet that had belonged to a man called DJ Snoopy.
Give us 7 days to take your chain. I promise you, your chain.
You want a cookie?
7 days.
Do it.
Do you want to do this? 7 days. Count everybody watching this. 7 days, Snoopy's not gonna have his chain.
Someone went and got my pendant, man. They got my brother's pendant.
Okay.
Top 5's antics would put him on the radar of one of the biggest media personalities in the American hip-hop scene, DJ Academics, who would begin to invite Top 5 onto his streams, introducing him to the streaming world for the first time and publicly labeling him the Demon of Toronto.
But if y'all don't know, people, we here with Top 5, one of Toronto's finest. You got any? Are you the king of Toronto? You know?
I run Toronto. They know this.
Yo, Chroma says she the first lady, so we gotta find out who's the king.
First lady to get battered. First lady. What's wrong with you? Yo, man. Yo, you gotta live in Toronto to know what's going on. What the
This would lead to many wild moments, like chaos erupting when Top 5 would end up on the stream with one of his biggest rivals, 17 Doovie, which would lead to both of them going back and forth, dissing each other's dead friends.
Fam, tell the world how JJ got packed.
Tell them how your brother got packed.
That's 2017. You know what's up with that.
Yo.
You know what's up with that. You know what's up with that.
Yo.
What's up with JJ?
Yo, do you want me to talk on? Yo, you're a snitch. I'm not even gonna talk on.
But unfortunately, despite the increasing fame online, Top 5 wouldn't be able to stay off the streets. And finally, in 2021, an incident would take place that would get him in so much trouble that he would end up doing the race too and leaving the whole of Canada behind. On January the 31st, 2021, 20-year-old accounting student Hashim Omar Hashi returned home to his Falstaff Avenue apartment after dinner. As he was about to enter the underground parking garage at 40 Falstaff Avenue, another vehicle would appear from behind, and a gunman would quickly sprint to Hashi's passenger side window and fire 14 shots, before sprinting back to the passenger seat of the getaway car as it sped off. After the murder, police would stress that Hashi had no gang ties, and his only crime was living in the building claimed by the 234 gang. But the murder allegedly followed only hours after Falstaff rapper 9 had posted a Shoppers Drug Mart bag on Instagram, an obvious taunt towards the death of Top 5's brother Foolish. In February 2021, police would strike and arrest 2 people, including none other than Top 5, charging him with accessory to murder.
2 Toronto men are facing charges after a man was shot and killed in a parking garage late last month. 24-year-old Emmanuel Misa and 22-year-old Hassan Ali were arrested over the weekend and charged with accessory to murder after the fact. Ali is also facing several drug offenses.
He was first released on $70,000 bail, but things would soon turn much worse for Top 5, as his charges were suddenly upgraded to first-degree murder, causing him to cut off his ankle monitor and go on the run. Following his successful escape, Top 5 would continuously post on social media, mocking the Canadian authorities, increasing his significant notoriety at home and abroad.
The artist has been connecting with fans on social media. There's just one problem. He's also on the run, wanted for murder.
CTV's John Woodward reports the justice system had him in custody, but despite warning signs, let him go anyway.
Toronto!
That appears to be Top 5 speaking out on a live streaming Instagram video over the weekend. That's despite under his real name, Hassan Ali, he's wanted for the first-degree murder of 23-year-old Hashim Omar Hashi, a student gunned down as he pulled into this parking garage. Ali's viewers tell him he's a fugitive, one asking, isn't Top 5 on the run for a body? The rapper seems to talk back.
The only run I know is the trend run.
Another asks, aren't you on the run?
Like, I ain't do shit. Everybody know I ain't do shit, but save that for God.
He would tell his followers that he was willing to come out of hiding for a sit-down with the mayor of Toronto before announcing that he himself actually runs Toronto.
Yo, you guys want to link up? Call John Tory and tell him I want to have a f***ing sit-down for f***ing 30 minutes. I want to spit my facts, and he spits his facts. I run Toronto. You f***ing goof.
Top 5's escape from justice was now making front-page news in Canada as he flaunted his fugitive status, telling fans that only God knows where he is.
You guys want to know where I am? Only God knows. Only John knows.
He would even drop new music, like the song Movie, which would be released together with an actual music video, as well as meeting up with famous rappers like the LA legend Draco the Ruler.
Draco, what are we smoking on?
But then, after being on the run for almost half a year, Top 5's race would suddenly come to an end shortly after he'd linked up with Bobby Shmurda in Los Angeles.
Alright, tell him what time it is. GG, Toronto, stand the f*** up. Shmurda on the set, you know what it is. What time is it? Hold on, what time is it? It's like 6:20. Still trapping out there. Yeah, in Cali, bad boy.
Witnesses would film an army of police swarming the scene, and legal documents would later reveal that the Los Angeles Police Department had tracked Top 5's fugitive spree through social media posts, placing him in the LA area where he was allegedly linked to another individual wanted in a separate murder investigation, this digital breadcrumb trail leading to his eventual capture. Unsealed extradition documents would also reveal Top 5's alleged motives for the murder of Hashim Omar Hashi. According to the documents, authorities identified Top 5 as a high-ranking member of a violent Canadian street gang, the GGG, alleging that he had murdered Hashi because he had happened to live in the rival gang's turf and that he'd been mistaken for Top 5's brother's killer, and that Top 5 was not shy about speaking on his aims of getting revenge for his brother's death on social media, with one such post made only 3 days before the murder of Hashi. Meanwhile, his fate hinged on preliminary hearings to determine admissible evidence and prove the Crown's theory that on the night of the murder, a three-man crew had spun the 40 Falstaff Avenue, with the shooter exiting from the front passenger seat while a driver navigated, and a third man, allegedly Top 5, sat in the back seat orchestrating the hit. The Crown acknowledged that there was no evidence that Top 5 and the victim knew each other, but they still argued that this was a gangland execution and that Hashi died solely for living on rival turf. To prove this, the Crown presented 3 categories of evidence: rap videos and social media posts from Top 5 to prove that he was a member of GGG, expert testimony from Toronto Police Sergeant Jason Hammond on gang dynamics to understand gang evidence and give context to events surrounding the murder, and an intercepted jailhouse phone call where Top 5 discussed song lyrics that the Crown considered to be a coded confession. This was a strategy reminiscent of Young Thug's YSL RICO trial that also relied heavily on lyrics, social media posts, and music videos as some of the key evidence, with the Crown even mentioning DJ Academics' 3.5-hour-long interview with Top 5 as evidence. This interview included Top 5 speaking about the infamous GGG members like Flipper and Century, as well as mentioning being part of their gang and bragging about their firearms.
To me, brother.
Flipper.
But
that was my big dog. They just arrested him for 2 bodies.
What?
But they freed up his little bro. His little bro's is part of GGG. He just beat a body.
Wait, what's GGG?
Go get him, gang.
Go get him, gang. All right. So y'all are the top shotters when it comes to Toronto.
We're equipped. We're like the army. We're like the military.
So the GGs was on the scene.
But the Crown also conceded that Top 5 likely did a lot of lying, like he also claimed that Megan Thee Stallion wanted to sleep with him, that he shoots people for Drake, that he was going to travel to Dubai the following week to enjoy some top-level ladies of the night, and that he drives a Porsche.
Man wants to f me. I'm Drake Shooter. I understand people want to kill me, but I'm going to Dubai next week. I'm about to f some out there. You know what I mean?
Jeez. Why they try to play you?
I drive a Porsche 2021.
The cracks in the case would emerge early. The judge would bar all lyrics and social media posts highlighting Top 5's gang ties, ruling them as irrelevant since the victim wasn't in a gang himself. Allowing it, the court argued, would bias jurors against Top 5's character rather than the facts. And without the gang context, Sergeant Hammond's expert testimony was also scrapped, with only the intercepted jailhouse phone call surviving the purge. With the gang evidence scrapped, all that was left was this call and Top 5's movements leading up to the murder. According to the Crown, on the day of the murder at 12:47 p.m, security cameras captured Top 5 stepping into an elevator on the 14th floor at an apartment building on Toronto's Northtown Way apartments. He was wearing a grey tracksuit, hood up, with a distinct diagonal black stripe running from waist to knee on his right thigh, and logos on the chest and hip, as well as black shoes with white trim. He exited the lobby, and by 1:06 p.m, he entered into a grey Mercedes, with the Crown identifying a man named Emmanuel Misa as a potential driver. The Mercedes returned to the building almost 2 hours later at 2:41 p.m. as Top 5 stepped out, re-entered the building, then left again just 8 minutes later. By 3:05 p.m., his cell phone would ping towers near 123 Crockford Boulevard in Scarborough, with evidence showing that there was a recording studio in the area. Between 3:05 p.m. and 5:31 p.m., cell tower records showed that Top 5's phone stayed in the vicinity of the studio. 6:02 p.m., back at Top 5's apartment in Northtown Way, a masked figure would enter the building, wearing a black hoodie, puffy jacket, black pants, white socks, and shoes with a faint white mark, with the Crown alleging that this was the shooter. He would ride the elevator to the 14th floor at 6:03 p.m, and 3 minutes later, he would return to the elevator clutching a small green plastic bag. At 6:11 p.m, Misa's phone would ping near the building, and 1 minute later, the grey Mercedes, the same car Top 5 used earlier, would pull up and the man in black climbed in. By 6:24 p.m, Misa's phone returned back to Scarborough, pinging on towers near the studio. Then both Top 5 and Misa's phones would go silent for hours, and there would be no activity from Top 5's phone till 9:07 p.m. Meanwhile, at the Falstaff Avenue housing complex, surveillance cameras would catch a stolen Honda Civic circling the 20, 30, and 40 blocks of Falstaff. It would enter the parking lots, slowing near a van with people twice, before also creeping past a white sedan, with the Crown arguing that they were hunting a target. Around 8:44 p.m, Hashi's car would turn into the entrance of 40 Falstaff's garage, and 12 seconds later, the Civic would screech to a stop, as a man in all black, white socks glaring, would bolt from the passenger seat, sprinting to the victim's car and unloading 14 rounds into the passenger side before fleeing. Looking closely at the security footage, as the shooter runs off and back to the car, the Civic's rear door cracks open, with someone inside seemingly hesitating but staying put, the Crown arguing that this figure was in fact Top 5. The Civic would later be found torched in Earl Bales Park with no DNA and no prints found. At 9:20 p.m, the grey Mercedes would resurface at Top 5's apartment at Northtown Way, with Top 5 stepping out, still in his grey tracksuit, alongside another person in dark clothing, someone who the Crown agreed is not the same person that shot the victim. Once again, they would ride the elevator to the 14th floor, before 8 minutes later returning to the lobby, with Top 5 now wearing different clothes as they got into the Mercedes and drove off. However, despite this evidence, the authorities were unable to confirm the identity of the shooter, the driver, or even the person sitting in the back. And ultimately, with no lyrics and no social media to use, and no forensic links or verified identities, the case would end up consisting of just theories, gaps, and a burning question. Was this a meticulously, perfectly planned and executed hit, or just a coincidence painted as guilt? Top 5 had a wild time being on the run in LA, and even after his capture, he would continue to grab headlines from behind bars, filming a music video for his song 21 Questions with G Herbo whilst inside the jail, this landing him yet more headlines.
Ontario's Solicitor General is investigating how a Toronto rapper behind bars on first-degree murder charges managed to film a music video from inside his own jail cell.
This music video was filmed partially inside an Ontario jail cell. The man in orange is rapper Top 5, real name Hassan Ali. He's awaiting trial for first-degree murder.
Top 5 was one of the most buzzing rappers in Toronto, all from behind bars. And in September 2024, the case against Top 5 would suddenly come to an abrupt end, as news would report that he had swiftly been released from jail due to the Crown deciding to state the charges against him, following the judge's critical decision to dismiss the lyrics and social media evidence. This essentially meaning that the case had been put on hold, and if the Crown doesn't charge him again in 1 year's time, the charges will be completely dropped.
Breaking news from the Superior Courthouse with a major development in the murder trial of a Toronto rapper known as Top 5.
He was accused in a January 2021 murder out on Falstaff, and today Hassan Ali is a free man. He's actually in the lobby of the courthouse as you and I are speaking right now.
An innocent man just came home, right? 3 years the journey with the best lawyer, Gary Grill. Pedro home, Pedro activated, free flipper, free 100, free century, long live Jason.
Immediately after being freed, Top 5 would thank his lawyer for fighting the case, before also thanking none other than his old friend Drake for paying his lawyer fees.
Outside the courthouse, Ali denied any gang involvement and thanked a supporter.
And shout out to my boy Drake, man.
The Demon of Toronto was free once again, and as a surprise to no one, it would only take about a day for him to start wilding out online, as he would go on stream with DJ Academics and Aiden Ross, where he would put out direct threats towards guys like Kendrick Lamar and Metro Boomin due to their beef with Drake.
We're gonna slap Kendrick if we see him, man.
Oh. You know why I never dropped
that little boy that will slap.
You know why I never dropped the first day out? You know why I never dropped the first day out? I went to my friends, man, and I prepared them little things for Kendrick, man. I prepared the little things, everything for my boy Kendrick. I want to greet him. I want to greet him so bad, man.
Kendrick come to the 6th. Kendrick say about to book a show. He say about to shut the place down still.
You sure? He's done. He ain't coming. He ain't coming. Metro Boomin too.
It's a no-fly zone,
man.
Man.
Metro Boomin, man, I see what you're trying to do with my boy, man. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. It ain't, hold on, Ak. It ain't safe, Metro. It ain't fucking safe. I just want 2 people right now, man. I'm not, it's not a threat. I'm just looking for Metro Boomin and Kendrick Lamar. I'm doing my homework right now. I'm doing my task on them right now.
While Kendrick himself would stay quiet, his friends like Compton rapper Hitter J3 would strike back, posting an old video of Top 5 getting pressed outside a Subway, together with the caption, "This the tough guy y'all talking about?"
Subway, dog. Stay outside. Stay outside right now, nigga. Outside. Get your booming on. Out, boy. Who's you pointing at? I'll boom on you right now.
Start us top 5. Do you
I ain't
know
gonna talk to you, nigga. Acting like you Drake. Off the street, you bum. Wear flip flops, looking. Stuff you right now, nigga.
Yo, go get the burner, bro.
While also seemingly inviting Top 5 to Compton to come and find out who the people in the Not Like Us video were. Top 5 was now on a roll, and the demonic antics would continue the following month, as he would go on a podcast of British social media personality Leah May with YG and Boondog. During the podcast, Top 5 would once again threaten to shoot Kendrick Lamar if he comes to Toronto, and made a number of other wild statements.
Kendrick Lamar? Yeah, you're scared of Kendrick? Tell him come to Toronto. Swiss cheese.
What happened if he comes to Toronto?
I'll get the low, put on my Nike Tech Black. Tell YG get us a driver. Put the window down, it is what it is, get some fresh air.
Top 5's wildin' wasn't just limited to social media, although it would always be posted there, like when he would troll the basketball player Russell Westbrook during a game, because Westbrook had made an appearance with Kendrick Lamar during his pop-out show.
Suck, Westbrook, man. You suck. Marlon's going to he sucks.
Or when he and the rapper Pressa would allegedly go to the show of rapper Lil Tyler to confront him with a bunch of goons due to Tyler's association with Kodak Black, who has a long-standing beef with Pressa since an infamous shooting incident between Pressa's crew and Kodak Black in Los Angeles, with Top 5 suggesting that he'd have killed Kodak Black if he was there during the altercation.
If I was there, Kodak would have been dead.
He would have been dead.
Yeah, the 16-year-old G42, he took care of it, but I would have done it.
If I was there, he would have been a nose to it.
He would have been done.
Top 5 had also become known everywhere as Drake's shooter, after claiming that's what he was in an earlier stream with DJ Academics.
Like, I'm a shooter, basically.
Yeah. So you the streets. You're the streets.
Yeah, I'm Drake's shooter.
Oh.
I'm not lying to you. Anybody disrespect Drake, I'm shooting.
Damn.
Drake himself would keep promoting this image, like when he would dress up as Top 5 for Halloween in 2024. However, if there was one thing that Top 5 was pro at, it was trolling. And when Drake would get into a beef with another basketball player, the former Toronto Raptors star DeMar DeRozan, who has since joined the Sacramento Kings and become buddies with Kendrick, Top 5 would suddenly come out seemingly taking DeRozan's side, while dissing Drake's OVO crew, which would confuse many people. But this was nothing more than Top 5 spinning the media, and soon he would be back dissing all of Drake's ops, like Kendrick and The Weeknd and his XO crew. But the relationship between Drake and Top 5 would seemingly go deeper than simply Top 5 using Drake for clout and Drake using Top 5 for street cred, with Drake and others seemingly also helping Top 5 to line his pockets, as Top 5 would claim that he'd made $1 million within just a few months of getting released from jail without dropping a single song. And from here on out, we would see Top 5 enjoying his newfound freedom and success by traveling the world with guys like Pressa and Boondog. But unfortunately, Top 5's reputation was now to the point where it would even follow him around the world, as it was reported that Top 5 was actually banned from performing with French Montana at Rolling Loud Thailand. Meanwhile, people in LA were not letting Top 5 slide with the constant Kendrick Lamar disrespect, and while Top 5 was touring the world, the podcaster, music manager, and alleged Pacoima Blood member, Whack 100, would come out attacking Top 5, telling Academics that 5 was a fake tough guy.
Top 5, he back out free. That's a fact.
That dude ain't nobody, bro. You know that dude couldn't survive nothing. That nigga weigh 118 pounds. That talking. Hey, Act, you know what this is down here, bro.
No, I'm not saying, no, we're not saying that they're going against the, we're just saying
no Canadians moving, no, bro, you know what this is down here, bro. He was 17 years old when he got mushed and kicked in his. I was already in a penitentiary, stabbing. So stop telling me about these fake cuffs and say, oh, he was only 17, 18. He was killing with bodies already. What are you talking about right now?
Whack would continue the dissing during a DJ Vlad interview, as Vlad would bring up Kendrick performing in Toronto during his tour with SZA.
Drake's guy Top 5 said he'll respect Kendrick if he shows up without police security, which is ridiculous.
Man,
Kendrick's
dude
not showing
ain't
up with
nobody, bro. Dude is nobody. Come on, we watched this same dude get mushed in the face and kicked in the. Oh, I was only 19. I don't know where y'all come from, bro. We off the porch at 12.
Then, during the Wack and Adam 22 podcast, Wack would come out and say that he had an incriminating recording of Top 5 warning Drake to stay far away from him if he doesn't want to go down with him.
I see you got Top 5 up there.
Yeah, we got Top 5 coming up.
Drake need to get away from Top 5.
Why do you think he's bad news?
Bad news.
Why?
This is how much respect I got for you, Drake.
A hard drive? USB drive?
This is how much respect I have for you. I'm telling you, somebody listening, Drake, hear me, no troll on Pyro. You need to get away from that dude. This has been in existence about 90 days, and I have made sure it hasn't went anywhere, personally. I think you know what I'm talking about. That dude with his mouth and the things he say does not support your career and how far you come. I'm telling you as a brother, this is how much I got respect for you.
That's the red button?
And if you have something here, I'm gonna let you plug into it and look at it when we're done.
What is it?
You're gonna see how much get the away from Top 5, bro.
After Wack's warning, him and Top 5 would confront each other during an academic stream, with Top 5 accusing Wack of blackmailing him with a recording that he had made when Top 5 had called Hitter J3. While Wack would keep emphasizing that he was the one making sure the incriminating material recorded during the call was not coming out in order to protect Drake.
I called this guy. He was with some guy named J3 Hitter. I was showing them how gangsta I am, saying, yo, when I see you guys, I'm on your ass. This guy recorded the whole convo, and our talk is so gangster, he's blackmailing me. I didn't say nothing about Drizzy on that convo. Man's blackmailing me, saying, I'm gonna post it, you're going back to jail.
It's still not clear exactly what was said during that call, but interestingly, this would be around the same time as the saga of Top 5 would take a truly strange turn. Allegedly, during Top 5's world tour in late 2024, he and his buddies from the Toronto hoods, like Presser and Bundog, would meet a seemingly very rich young man in Dubai named Julian Berouet, engaging in all kinds of shenanigans with him, including a Diddy-style freak-off where UK drill rapper Fredo appeared to be getting busy. Now, not much is known about Julian's background, but he seemingly used to live in Miami, where he was arrested in 2022 for having a concealed firearm and resisting arrest, while there's also a video of him on YouTube doing a boxing match which was posted as late as August 2024. It seemed that at the time everything was going well between Julian and his new friends, until suddenly in December 2024, in a now deleted stream with DJ Academics, Julian would come out guns blazing, going on what seemed like a stimulant-induced long and rambling story, where he would accuse Top 5 of scamming him out of $2 million together with none other than Drake himself.
Top 5 stole my Richard Mille, Drake's homie. I just bought a better one, so anyway.
Okay.
Drake scammed me. Champagne Poppy scammed the 20-year-old for 2 M's, and then Aiden Ross is involved in this. It's deep, bro. It's Top 5 it is, Top 5 do the math on Toronto, whatever.
Yo,
This
Top
guy.
5 on his third body. So
I
you
fucked with
talked
Top
to
of the-
Drake eventually. You talked to Drake himself.
I've spoken to 3 days, like conversations, texting back and forth, voice notes, all that. But anyways, yeah, so Top is Drake's shooter report guy. His nigga just got out of jail. He's using Drake to bring me plays or whatever.
To make a long story short, Julian would claim that he'd made a deal with Top 5 and Drake, where Julian would essentially give Drake $2 million and Drake would somehow flip it and double it, while also promising to do things for Julian, like making an appearance in his music video, following all the Instagram accounts of his numerous different companies, as well as organizing a meeting between Julian and the actress Jenna Ortega.
This is all I wanted. The deal from this, I have like voice notes, verbal confirmation screenshots of Drake saying, okay, I need $2 million from this kid, and in 90 days, I'm gonna give it back to him double. That was the deal. He said he needs it on his stake balance, and he's gonna gamble with it, and he's gonna send me back 4 M's. And the deal was Drake follows me, follows all of my companies, more importantly. So if I have Drake following them, I could use them to market the companies better, He's supposed to introduce me to Jenna Ortega for free. He was supposed to come be in my music video and then post me. That's it. That's all I wanted for the 2 M's.
However, Julian would then claim that in fact Drake had only agreed to follow him and that everything else was just Top 5 lying.
Drake, the only thing he ever really agreed to was a follow. And like all that other Top lying and putting him on the phone, trying to make it seem, I don't know. Drake really helped him like plot. It's so
petty.
Now, this story sounds like a lot of cap, but clearly something crazy was going on behind the scenes. Top 5 presser and Boondogg suddenly had a whole lot of money, and this would only be the very beginning to this very strange saga, because Julian would then claim that he confronted Top 5, who would then give him Drake's number, after which Drake would allegedly begin to send him voice notes where he would allegedly attempt to calm Julian down, with Julian then starting to play DJ Academics these alleged voice notes.
Okay, here we go.
Eager.
Listen, I'm gonna just show the iPad. I like the fucking iPad. You hear it?
Too eager. With guys.
Look at Top trying to, you know, like stupid.
You know what I'm saying?
The jet I paid for.
Wait, we can't hear. We can't hear. Here we go.
There. You know, all I know is that you asked me what I got. I told you what I got. What I was in your
You can hear this.
I think you're too trusting.
It's no manipulation. He doesn't mean any of this.
Somebody that really touched $1 billion.
He's trying to finesse a 20-year-old. You hear it?
Yeah. Thanks for trying to do this for you. If anybody looks at your page, brother, I'm gonna be very transparent to you. You look like you're absolutely 100% out of your mind. You look very irrational. You look like you've been there for 20 days. Nobody's trying to give you a part of their company and do business with you. You know, they're trying to jam you for bread. So that's why I keep telling you, I'm like, yo, like, I feel like whatever, the Top situation worked out, but it's for $550 in crypto. Who gives a f? Like, that's something we could get back. I'm trying to tell you, slow down. Stop posting so much. If you genuinely want to make money, I have plays for you that I can only involve you in if you stop acting like you're on crack cocaine, bro. You're tweaked out. I'm just letting you know, I'm just genuinely speaking to you. I don't know you. I don't owe you this conversation. You know, I haven't even really sent you no voice notes because I don't send voice notes like that. I don't want to be... I'm sending you this because you need to hear my voice, bro. You're tweaking.
And the sad thing is, this is all like
your money.
His efforts to like manipulate you to continue into this scam.
Stop trying to make all these crazy moves with these crazy people. You have a direct line to me. If you want to make money for real, I'm just reading your message. I'm not even read it. If you want to make money, just get your money back. Enjoy the rest of the year. These things take time. They're not built in a day or a week. I have major plays coming up in business. I can involve you in if you stop doing all the dumb you're doing. Adding all these people, rappers and bro talking about you're gonna, like, you look, it's just not good. So just like take your bread and get your bread back and start fresh. Let's actually start fresh and like you make some money for once. Stop getting rinsed. And like I said, for whatever reason, I'm a big believer in manifestation. God put me in your life for some reason. I did not ask for it. I did not want to be here, but now I'm here. And me, I'm an empathetic person. I'm not a guy that's just gonna block you and tell you. I could have did that a long time ago. I could have been like, my bad. Oh, sorry. I don't feel that way.
One stream.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna move that way. I'm gonna help you rectify the situation.
How many wives you got, brother?
We can talk. If your behavior
How many wives?
in the right place,
I like
we can
5
talk
right
about
now.
making
5?
real money.
I like virgin.
So just come, get your bread back, and regroup. Smoke your cigarettes. I don't know what else you're doing, bro, but it's like whatever you're doing, cut that back by 50%. Because you're tweaked the
Said cut it back by 50%.
weird.
Now at this point, it's hard to know what's true and what isn't, and with modern day AI voice cloning technology, even seemingly real voice notes aren't necessarily to be believed. Now, if these voice notes are fake, you got to admit they pretty much nailed Drake's voice to a T, including his subtle Toronto slang intonation. But the situation would then suddenly get completely out of control, as Top 5 himself would join the stream, which would send Julian completely over the edge.
Wait,
Yo, you took your meds today?
Out of this, bro. Yeah. Who the out of this top? Why the you're not in Dubai?
Yo, Ak.
What's up, man? Yo, wait, Top 5. Clarify to me what's going on. Yo, why you look so rich now? What's going on?
Yo, bro, I'm wondering if this guy took his meds. I'm getting phone calls. This guy doesn't bring stress to my life up to you.
Yo, Top 5. Hold on. I thought I seen you with this guy on your story. What happened?
He's my dog. He's my dog, but he's my dog that's just trying to look for a name, right?
Oh, he's
Drake don't know him.
You know I know everything, right? I know everything.
Drake don't know him. Yo, big guy.
I know everything.
Yeah.
Stop.
Drake don't know him. I think he's playing. I think he's playing AIs.
Yo,
I think it was the AIs act.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I don't give a damn.
Wait, hold on.
I actually have Toronto that actually. No, you gotta me off. This is how level-headed I am. I have Toronto that offered me your life, and I said no. So, I can show that too.
Wait, hold on.
If you want me to, I have Toronto that offered to.
Julian would then make many wild claims about Top 5, one of these being that he received $3 million from Drake for shooting up The Weeknd's manager's house.
You're hiding
How
from
about you tell
Dubai.
the word about Drake paid you $3 million to shoot up the Weeknd's house 4 weeks?
House get shot up.
I didn't have respect for Drake.
You're not credible.
You're laughing.
Now, the obvious problem with this claim is that Top 5 was still very much in prison when The Weeknd's manager's house had a shooting incident during a home invasion that was reported publicly in April 2024, unless this was organised from jail, or unless Julian's referring to another subsequent shooting that didn't make headlines. Anyway, Top 5 would return the banter, saying how there's now 2 people that he needs dead, Kendrick and Julian.
I just dropped
There's
my
2
load.
I need dead. You and Kendrick.
No.
The whole thing was completely nuts, but the craziest turn of events was still to come, because all of a sudden in early 2025, Julian would stop posting on his numerous different social media accounts, seemingly vanishing into thin air, with some of his last posts being him dissing Top 5. Julian's disappearance would start a wild rumor mill online, with people trying to figure out what had happened to him, and some people claimed that Julian was straight up dead, with even Julian's girlfriend posting these theories of his murder on her social media, while others claimed that he had gone into hiding due to either Drake and his goons being after him, or because some other major crime syndicate wanted him dead due to Julian allegedly getting all of his money by robbing someone in Miami, which is actually something that Top 5 would also imply during the stream with academics.
Tell them that you can't go back to Miami. Tell the whole world you can't go back to Miami.
I can go wherever I want right now, but I'm not stupid.
Tell them how you scammed the whole Miami. And you're hiding in Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them how about that?
15 in Miami, 15, 19 with bigger.
Tell the world how his best friend got
I was 15 in this picture.
because he scammed the whole Miami.
Wait, they killed
the Zoles are after you.
What?
Talking about
Haitians.
No way.
Say it ain't so, Julian.
My mom is white, my dad is black.
Tell the world about your $66 million heist. Tell the world how you're hiding from Dubai.
Yeah. You're gonna meet your brother. Let's see what happens first.
Ask about the get back. Foolish gang. Ask about
You're scared of me. If you're not, I will hang you with that chain on.
Guy tells he ran up on him for 66 mil. They packed his best friend in front of him. He booked his flight to Dubai. And now cannot stay in the same hotel for a week. He moves around quicker than a duck.
Now for now, there's not much reliable information about what happened to Julian, but while all this craziness was unfolding, Top 5 would keep moving forward 1,000 miles per hour. And in another crazy twist, on New Year's Eve, academics would come out with a major announcement claiming that he had signed Presser, Boondog and Top 5 to his own music label, the Academy Records, for $25 million.
In the building, man, the Academy Records, I told you I was launching, man. Listen, I dropped a $25 million bag. I had to do it, man. The first signees to the Academy Records, the biggest demons out of Toronto. Yo, listen. Y'all artists, y'all don't have a hit song. Y'all not dripping like this. It's gonna take a while. Let me tell you this. $5 million. I signed and put $5 million in his pocket. 35, $5 million straight. Hey, this guy been rich. I just gave him $5 million just cause. Okay? Yo, Boondog, yo.
He got that.
Boondog sliding right now. He's sliding somewhere.
The newest monster that's rapping.
Yo, listen. No. I had to give Boondog $5 million just for him to stop sliding. That was the only stipulation. No more sliding. It's over. The Academy Records, man. Listen, when these guys drop, big actors behind them, man. Listen, there's no bigger voice than me. And let me tell you this.
Whether this was trolling or not, Top 5 was clearly moving up in the world, and in January, he could be seen hanging out courtside with none other than Drake himself, who had clearly ignored Wack 100's warning to stay away from his #1 shooter. And clearly Wack wasn't the only one who was seeing Drake's association with Top 5 as problematic, with many commenting on social media how Drake should stay as far away from him as possible. These comments would get even more validity in late January 2025 when Top 5 would be arrested again in Toronto, this time on gun-related charges.
Toronto rapper Top 5 was one of 2 men arrested arrested in connection with a firearm investigation.
However, even this couldn't stop Top 5's rise, and already in mid-February, he was released on bail. Top 5 would get straight back to balling, posting himself buying a new car for his sister, and only a few days later, Top 5 was back on demon time, posting on his Instagram a picture of a chain that belonged to the CEO of the popular 6buzz TV media company in Toronto, and saying how the chain was taken because the owner had angered Boondog. Around the same time, it would also be reported that Top 5's GGG goons had attacked the Toronto rapper K-Money during a basketball game, with videos of the alleged jumping getting posted on social media. Top 5 would then troll K-Money, posting himself with 2 championship wrestling belts while telling how they had given K-Money belt to Top 5's clout chasing was working like a charm, and he was truly becoming a household name, with even the streamer Neon commenting on him on his stream, as he would be stunned to hear that Top 5 was supposedly Drake's shooter.
This guy right here is a shooter. Are you kidding me, bro?
Now, Top 5 was on a generational run when it came to clout chasing, and next, he would point his aim at a very big fish, none other than Drake's number 2 enemy, Kanye West, who would get on Twitter to let everyone know that Top 5 was calling him repeatedly and threatening to smoke him behind the scenes. And always classy, Ye would decide to throw his ex-wife and the mother of his children under the bus during this exchange, calling her that old white lady, while ranting how Top 5's actions were going to get Drake tied up in a RICO case, echoing the warnings of WAC 100 and tweeting their messages openly telling the world how he was being threatened by Drake's shooter, while Top 5 would tell Ye that he's crashed out for way less so that Ye should think what he would do to a billionaire. Ye would end up even dragging the rapper The Game into the beef, as he would notice that he had been commenting on Top 5's post, with Ye deciding to burn the entire bridge with Game over those comments, as he would tweet how he's not going to executive produce The Game's new album anymore. And of course, Ye wasn't the only one getting his fair share from Toronto's top demon, as Top 5 would reveal that the infamous former Atlanta dope dealer Big Meech had also slid into his DMs, with Top 5 tagging Meech's new number 1 enemy 50 Cent in the post to boost the cloutometer, and 50 would indeed bite and repost.
This rat thought he could DM me and tap in. Yo, 50 Cent, come get this fake 6-year-old kingpin out of my DMs. Should've worked a regular job like my father. Big Meech, Big Screech. Yo, little Meech, call me little.
And if that wasn't enough, Top 5 would also call into No Jumper to discuss the bounty of his most recent clout campaign.
So Ye just texted me right now, said he's coming to Toronto. Let's see if he's gangster enough. Let's see if Ye is gangster enough to walk in my city.
Coming into April, Top 5 would get back to basics and aim his scope back on Drake's familiar enemies, The Weeknd's XO crew, posting how he hasn't seen any XO guys in Toronto since beating his case, implying that they were scared to show their face now that the biggest demon was back in town, perhaps even hinting at the rumors of Top 5 shooting up XO team members' homes, while also calling The Weeknd and his friends the biggest cokeheads he knows, and tagging XO member Hawk Marley, saying that one of his young'uns had snatched his chain, making Marley beg him to get it back. Despite the relentless and never-ending controversy surrounding Top 5, one person who would stay cool with him the whole time was Drake, who would once again make an appearance with him while they were both in Toronto and celebrating the success of Drake's comeback song Nokia. A curious post which was apparently edited to remove its original hashtag XOK, a reference to wanting to kill or K The Weeknd's XO team. But it actually seemed that Drake and Top 5 might well have been doing some business behind the scenes, because about a week later, Top 5 would come out with a major announcement. He had signed a multi-million-dollar deal with crypto gambling site Stake, a company specialized in online gambling and more recently also streaming, having a connection to the Anything Goes streaming platform Kick. With Stake having been partnered with Drake for some time now, their partnership reportedly worth as much as $150 million. And this would help Top 5 make even more media connections, with him being seen partying with other YouTube stars and infamous gamblers, the Nelk Boys, with Nelk's head honcho Kyle pouring Happy Dad seltzer on the GGG chain. This was followed by perhaps the most surprising move that Top 5 has pulled so far, as he would actually patch up his beef with Kanye West and go and meet him in Spain, all while wearing an ankle monitor. Kanye was apparently in Spain doing streams to promote his Donda 2 project with people like Digital Nas, Sneeko and Neon. This link up would arguably be the most clout-driving debut stream anyone could have ever hoped for, with Top 5 going on to appear in a string of viral moments, allowing Ye to wear his GGG gang chain, repeatedly telling Ye in rants that he's Drake's shooter after dissing J. Cole for playing both sides in the Drake beef.
Can I say something on the stream? J. Cole's a piece of he flew up the flag after the war got hot. You agree on that?
Yes, yeah.
You can't start a war, say somebody's name, and then when it gets serious, you run.
Yeah, because J. Cole, what was it? Third person shooter. J. Cole was one of Drake's shooters. He's supposed to be in
I'm Drake's shooter.
Okay. I'm talking about rap.
I'm his shooter now. I'm his shooters too. You don't play about that shit. Fine, continue.
And in one pretty shocking display, Ye would welcome Top 5 to his crew, gifting him a chain for his birthday while on stream. And of course, with two clout-hungry edgelords in the same room, the stream would create an entire catalogue of headlines as they would proceed to diss everyone and everything. Interestingly, a lot of people actually said that Top 5 actually had Ye acting more calm than usual, with some suggesting that knowing he was around a real killer made Ye actually a bit more thoughtful in how he acted. Anyway, after streaming with Ye-Dolf, Top 5 would hop on a call with Academics where he would seemingly get a little sentimental and thank Academics for changing his life. Now, Ak had probably been the first big-time media personality from America who had given Top 5 shine on his platform.
Yo, you got to make an announcement. You ain't catch a body in at least 2 years, man. You got to tell these people. You got to tell me you're done with that. That's
Life is sweet, man. Like Academics said, I ain't dropped music in a while. Life is sweet right now, man. The girls, the money, the cars, the jewelry.
Yeah.
Holy Ak, you changed my life.
At this point, there's no telling where Top 5's story goes next. Most recently, there's even been reports that he's been hanging out on a private jet with the rapper Broadday from UK crew Active Gang, who allegedly recently had been tied to rumors of a gigantic $330 million crypto heist that caused many to report that he had been kidnapped and gone missing for a period of time. Now today, Top 5 is flexing harder than ever, boasting about $60,000 outfits and riding to UFC fights on private jets. All of this and millions of dollars without releasing a single song. Just goes to show you, rappers are down bad and streamers are up right now. So only time will tell if Top 5 clout chases his way all the way to the top of the charts, or if he's going to crash and burn in the process, perhaps even taking Drake down with him. But one thing is for sure, after all his antics in the streets, there has never, ever been a streamer on the internet as dangerous as Top 5.